Hey guys, it's me again. Thanks for stopping by. When I was, this was all the way back in high school. I, it wasn't as prevalent as it is now, but I was always getting a kick out of when people did reviews on video games, movies, really anything. There was always this out of 10 system or out of 100 system. And it was like, what does that number mean? And some people had some fun with it. Some people, in fact, there was this joke that was said, on a scale of 1 to 10, I give it a green, and that was kind of funny. And then you have, Jeremy Johns, I think is a big name on YouTube, who has his rating system, and I think is really cool and funny for fans of his that understand what he's trying to say with his reviews. But like I said, it was around high school, with me not really liking that out of 10 system, that I came up with these 10 kind of prerequisites or 10 requirements that to me would make a perfect movie. And you can even use it for video games. And so I'll list them here, list them now, and forgive my poor quality. I'll read them out, and then I'll give you my favorite example, and then we can hopefully have a discussion later. We can come back to it if you guys wanted to test this system against other things to see if how movies could really score it, or it may surprise you. Some movies may not be as bad as they may have first seemed. But the first criteria for me is, first and foremost, did it meet expectations? Did you walk in, did the trailer lean you a certain way, or were you expecting something different? And that can help or hurt. The second is the plot, which is the idea of the movie or video game. Like, where are we going and why are we doing what we're doing, or why are the characters doing what they're doing? So was there a strong plot? The third is the music. I think music can really increase and bring a film to a brand new level. And there are some soundtracks in mind, or use of popular songs in movies. Sometimes that can count too, and bringing a scene to a new level. So did the music help or hurt? Number four, how is the graphic quality or graphic usage? In movies, this refers to CGI, but in video games, that can mean keeping you immersed in an experience. Did it seem realistic, or was it cartoony? Was it meant to be cartoony? And then number five, were the characters relatable and or unique? So did you, as an audience member, latch onto a character as the main hero, or was a side character stealing the show, or was it a combination of everybody all together? Number six involves the script. Was the dialogue realistic, or was it cheesy, or was it intended to be cheesy? So does the dialogue fit the scene as it's being done, as the movie's being done? Number seven, casting. Casting is very important. Sometimes you can have so many people that are 10 out of 10 castings, and then you may have one or two people stand out because they're an amazing person, or they stick out for the worse. So casting does matter. Number eight, were there any glitches or inconsistencies? In the movie side of thing, it would be like a plot hole. But in the video game world, it would be a glitch. Like, was there something that wasn't supposed to be there? And most glitches in video games I would view as a negative, because it can break the immersion. But it does depend. But number eight, were there any glitches or inconsistencies? Number nine, would you recommend for everyone? Now, the way I look at number nine is, do you recommend it to some people? Like, oh, you might not like this, it has this in it or whatever, or is it for everyone? And I do think a 10 out of 10 movie should hopefully be for everyone if done right. And then number 10 is a very valuable one people kind of skip over, and it's, would you watch it again? It's that simple. Like, if you wouldn't watch it again, it can only be a 9 out of 10. It can be a great movie, but if it's like a harder movie to watch, or it's a bummer, or something happens, that you can still give it a good grade. 9 out of 10 is still a phenomenal movie, but to be that 10 out of 10, you'd want to go back and see those characters. You'd want to go back and do it again. And with this as my baseline, I don't know if anyone saw this coming, but I think for me personally, in my opinion, using this system, the 10 out of 10 movie is Pirates of the Caribbean. I don't know why, but it hit all these criterias for me. And maybe if I was being a huge critic, maybe it's a 9.8 if we got into like decimals. But big picture, when I was making this system, I remember thinking like, is there a 10 out of 10 movie? And that's where I framed all these around. And as of right now, I haven't really seen where this system falls apart. I know it's a bit lengthy to go through each of them, and you never know if it is something that we did want to test it with other movies. I'm certainly open to the idea, but this system I literally keep saved. I go back to it quite often with many different types of movies. And there's a few out there that, I think a lot of people will be like, oh, it was so good, but I wouldn't watch it again. I'm like, oh, then it's a 9 or what have you. Or sometimes it could still be very high scoring, even when you thought you didn't like certain things. Or I've had situations where I've seen movies where the trailer really led me a different direction and my expectations weren't kind of hit. A funny example of that was Guardians of the Galaxy 2. For some reason, I thought there was more movie. The trailers, I got a very different vibe. And so I remember being in the theater on that one thinking like, hey, when are we getting to when's this getting to the next thing? And then the credits rolled and I remember looking over at my friend and I was just like, oh shit, that was the movie. Oh no, okay. And I was kind of stumped by that. I didn't expect that. And it made me laugh. But in my review of it, I had to dock that point because whether you'd want to blame the trailer team and the marketing or if you wanted to blame the way the actual story went, I have had other friends and family members praise that movie. But for me, that kind of caught me off guard. So I don't remember right now if it was an 8 or a 9. It was still high scoring, but I had to make note that that expectation was totally missed. I was on a different wavelength. And so, yeah, no, I get a kick out of this kind of system. I've been using it for a very long time. And, sometimes you'd be surprised. You might walk into something and that gut instinct be like, oh, it was horrible. It was such a bad movie. And then you kind of go back to the system and it's just like, oh, that one wasn't that bad. Or sometimes, and I don't know if anyone's ran into this, but sometimes you have a day where you just don't know what to watch and you're worried about wasting your time, but then you're there for probably more than we all care to admit that you're scrolling through, picking nothing, but you're scrolling through and not picking something and you're just in the menus. And it's at that point, just pick something, take a crack at it. The worst thing you'll learn on the other end is, oh, I didn't like that movie. And the same could be true with shows. I think with television shows, you definitely should be hooked by the pilot. I've had some friends tell me oh, you need to wait till episode 2 or episode 3 to really start to feel it. But I think even with a video games are tricky because of how expensive they are right now. I do think we all kind of, whether we check online and, certain trusted reviewers, or we don't trust the reviewers and maybe we wait for YouTubers to kind of tell us. If it's not going to break the bank and it's on sale or something, it might be worth giving a try. You might have some fun with it. I think a lot of people are looking for these 10 out of 10 things, and it's okay if it's not 10 out of 10. You can still have a good time with it. But again, I just wanted to kind of share my little review system. Let me know if it holds up. I think there might be something there. As far as people who do the 10 out of 10, these are the primary 10, concepts I could think of. And let me know if they stick, or challenge and check some of your favorite movies and see if you get a true 10 out of 10 or if there were things that you can kind of pick apart. And it's totally okay. A 7 out of 10 is still a C. It still passes. You can still enjoy it and, have it with popcorn. Or even some of those movies that are those kind of Debbie Downers that you don't ever want to watch again. It's okay, and it explains why people are like, oh, that's such a good movie. I never want to watch it again. But as always, thanks for your time. Thanks for stopping by. And if there's anything else you want to talk about movies or talk about really anything, I'm open to discussion and just trying this out. And, let me know if there's anything I could do a little bit better. Again, I'm still currently doing low editing. It's just due to time and, putting kind of a quick little script together. And even then, I'm sure I'm not doing what I'm hoping I'm doing. But yeah, hope all is well your way. Take care. Bye.